Hello class 8. Today in our geography class we will do the question answers of this chapter, the earth as a planet. Okay. So just like the previous chapter, I will dictate the questions and I will mark the answers and read out the answers for you people. And I will suggest that you all please write down the answers in a copy so that it will be easier for you to learn the question answers. Okay. Thank you. Now from this chapter the first question is, discuss why the Earth is known as a unique planet. I repeat, discuss why the Earth is known as a unique planet. Now, this answer we have to write the answer point wise. The first point will be, the Earth lies at an optimum distance of 150 million kilometers from the Sun, which is a habitable zone. After writing this much, we will move on to the next point, that is, water is the primary factor which enables life. Life began in the oceans and has huge influence on us. The ocean produce 70% of our oxygen, absorb heat and redistribute it around the world. They also dominate the weather systems of the world. 71% of the surface of the earth is covered by water, and thus it is also called the watery planet or the blue planet. So this point is up to this much, blue planet. Now the next point, that is the third one. The atmosphere also stands out as a protective stratum due to the presence of the ozone layer. This layer absorbs the harmful ultraviolet rays and prevents them from entering the Earth's surface. Okay. So altogether 3 points we have written, and that is enough for this answer. Now we will move on to the next question, that is, the next question or question number 2 is, discuss the antipodal balance. Discuss the antipodal balance between land and water in our earth. Discuss the antipodal balance between land and water in our earth. So for these answer also, the first point starts from here. The earth can be divided into two hemispheres in such a way that nearly all the land is concentrated in the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere is almost entirely covered with water. So this is the first point of this answer. Now the second point starts here. The land is everywhere opposite the water bodies. For example, to the opposite of Africa is the Pacific Ocean. Now the third one, the land is concentrated around the Arctic region and the water around the Antarctic regions. The land sends 3 projections towards south and the ocean sends 3 projections towards the north. And the fourth point for this answer, we need to write four points. Fourth point is, the continents are roughly triangular in shape pointing southwards. The oceans are roughly triangular in shape pointing northwards. So this is the answer for this question. Up to this much we have to write. Now the next question is, give a brief idea about the true shape of the earth. Give a brief idea about the true shape of the earth. So we are starting our answer from here. This answer we are going to write paragraph wise, not point wise. In the ancient times, the earth was considered to be flat. Philosophers like Pythagoras, Aristotle, Ptolemy, Aryabhatta and Copernicus changed the view of the flat shape of the earth. Then we have to change up to, after writing up to this much, we will change the paragraph. Pythagoras postulated that the earth was spherical. He proposed this idea because he noticed that the ships disappear below the horizon when they sail away. So the next next paragraph is up to this much. Now we will again continue from here. That is, Aristotle was the first to state that the earth was spherical in shape. He faced a lot of criticism for his idea. Next we will continue from here. That is, oblate spheroid is the name given to the actual shape of the earth. It means slightly flattened at the poles and bulged at the equator. It is also called geode, which means earth shaped. If the earth was a perfect sphere, then the polar and equatorial diameters must be equal. But calculations have proved or shown these measurements of diameters and circumferences. Okay, so here we have to add two words, that but calculations have shown these measurements of diameters and circumferences are different. So these two words we have to add over here, that are different. And children, I will suggest that please practice this diagram, which is showing the equatorial diameter and the polar diameter, which are different than each other, different to each other. Okay, so please practice this diagram. I am trying to show you this diagram clearly so that you can draw it with the help of this video in your rough copy and you can practice that. Okay. Now the next question, that is, give evidences to prove that the earth is spherical in shape. I am repeating, give evidences to prove that the earth is spherical. Children, again, for this answer we have to write the answer point wise. We will make separate point heading, we will underline the points and we will write down the points. So our first point is the circumnavigation of the earth. So we will write like this. So this will be our point head, that is the circumnavigation of the earth, and we will write it like this. Between 1519 to 1522, Ferdinand Magellan had undertaken a voyage around the earth. It is considered as proof that the earth is spherical in shape. He and his crew had not encountered any sharp edge of the earth. So up to this much is the first point. Now the next point that we have to write, that we will make point number 2, that is this one, lunar eclipse. Okay, so this one we will write like this. During lunar eclipse, the shadow of the earth on the moon is in the shape of an arc. It is possible just because the earth is spherical in shape. Now the next point for this answer, that is, the planetary bodies are spherical. So we will begin the point from here. All planetary bodies like the sun, moon, satellites and stars are spherical in shape. This has been observed through telescopes. They are strictly spheres. The earth, by this analogy, cannot be an exception. Children, we will write one more point for this answer, that is space photographs. So the answer is ending like this. Photographs taken from space by satellites show the spherical shape of the earth. This is the most recent, modern and authentic proof of the earth's shape. So our answer is ending over here. Okay. Now the next question is, briefly discuss about the surface of the moon. Briefly discuss about the surface of the moon. So we are beginning the answer from here, that is, the topography of the moon is irregular and characterized by high peaks, mountains and craters. The surface of the moon comprises dark featureless plains and solidified basaltic lava. The gravitational attraction between the earth and the moon causes tides on the earth as the moon rotates on its orbit, different parts of its phase illuminated by the sun, leading to lunar phases. Okay, so we will write the answer, not the full paragraph, because the rest of the latter half of the paragraph is not relevant to this question. So we will write the answer like this. The topography of the moon is irregular and characterized by high peaks, mountains and craters. The surface of the moon comprises dark featureless plains and solidified basaltic lava. So it is a very small answer, as you can see, only 2 sentences. So you must be happy with this answer. Now another question related to moon, that is, why do we always see the same side of the moon from the earth? I repeat, why do we always see the same side of the moon from the earth? So our answer is starting from here. The period of rotation on its axis and revolution round the earth is 29 days and 27 days respectively. This results in keeping the same face turned towards the earth. The side of the moon that faces the earth is called the near side and the opposite side is called the far side. So up to this much is our answer, this one. Okay. Now the next question related to moon is, give a brief account about the temperature conditions of the moon. Give a brief account about the temperature conditions of the moon. So this answer is starting from here and we will write like this. The moon has virtually no seasons. This means that some areas are lit by the sunlight and the other places are perpetually draped in shadow. There is no atmosphere on the moon as the gravitational pull of the moon is very low. It hardly has any gas and the temperature varies due to these reasons. The daytime temperature is about 134 degrees Celsius and on the dark side it gets cold and the temperature is about minus 153 degrees Celsius. So this is all about this chapter. So I will suggest children once again that please write down the question answers in your copy after watching the video, because it will be helpful for you to learn the question answers. Every time it is not necessary to turn on the video to learn the question answers if you have it written somewhere. So please write it down in your copy and practice the diagram that I have suggested. Okay, thank you for the timing. In our next class, we will start a new chapter, that is weathering. For the time being, please prepare this chapter. Thank you.